Karibu Sana Club 1999. Now, the behind-the-scenes story of the recently concluded Kibra by-elections is most fascinating. It took His Excellency Raila Odinga's experience, and power to save this seat, which was indeed going, in what would have been a shock result to Jubilee, or rather Ruto's Jubilee. Now, I want us to look at some of the tactics, that the DP Ruto camp had planned, which would have enabled them to easily win this seat, and what Raila Odinga and his ODM team did, to counter those moves. And this should be most interesting. Now, the first thing we need to take note of is the fact that by-elections, normally have a very low turnout, all over the world. And this provides an opportunity, for somebody to rig the vote by importing voters. Now, many Kenyans have never really understood how voters are imported into a constituency to vote. Now, it starts with a fake voters register, because before you vote, it has to be confirmed that your name, is in the voters register. So the way it has been done in the past is that you import your voters and then you ensure that their names are on the voters register of a particular polling station. Now, sometimes polling stations can be in remote places, easy to infiltrate, especially if you're a powerful man in government with the right contacts. Now, this is one of the strategies that was used in the Embakasi South by-election, and the ODM candidate was shocked, so shocked that they couldn't even complain. When you understand this, you'll understand why in the Kibra by-election there was violence. The violence was mostly targeted at imported voters. Now, you need to ask yourself a very simple question. What would Senator Boni Halwale be doing on polling day near a polling station? What precisely would his business be? The campaigns are over, because you're not allowed to campaign during polling. Secondly, he is definitely not a registered voter anywhere in Kibra. He is registered in Western Kenya, a place called Ikolomani. Now, in the Kibra by-election, something very interesting happened, that is linked to what I've just told you. On the eve of the election and on the day of the election, police officers, who were in charge of security of the Jubilee team from Kibra, Langata, and Kilimani police stations were suddenly withdrawn. If those police officers had not been withdrawn, everything would have gone according to plan, for the DP Ruto team or Team Tangatanga. The polling stations, would have been penetrated by imported voters. And in all likelihood, they would have cast their votes. The order to have the police officers, the security, withdrawn at the 11th hour must have come from very high up, from somebody very powerful. And we must link it to Raila and the handshake in general. Now, another key strategy that was frustrated, which happened in Embakasi South and which we have talked about here before, is the bribing of voters. This is usually done at your opponent's stronghold, and usually it is aimed at reducing the number of votes cast in favor of your opponent. And the way it has been done in the past is that voters are paid cash in exchange for the ID card. Because if you don't have your ID card, you will not be able to vote. You can't. In Kenya, it's not possible at the moment. And then, of course, the ID card is returned when the polling stations close. Very effective, especially in a slum area like Kibra, where people are cash-strapped, poverty-stricken. 500 shillings, or even less, free money, in return for your ID card for a few hours. If you followed the Kibra by-election closely, you will have taken note of the fact that several people were arrested, for trying to bribe voters. Of course, others were chased away. Violence was used, by goons to ensure, that they could not continue with their evil exercise. And those who are keen will also have noted a complaint by the Team Tanga people that their people were being beaten as policemen looked on, not interfering, not doing anything. Now let us appreciate the fact that had those two schemes gone ahead without being checked by ODM, then the results of this by-election would definitely have been very different. Raila Odinga was personally involved in the strategizing of this particular campaign in the Kibra constituency. And one of the big strengths Baba has always had is the ability to plant spies deep inside the base of his opponents. I believe we saw this during the 2017 presidential elections, where Raila Odinga came out with a dossier of a plan by the Kenya Defense Forces in helping to rig President Uhuru Kenyatta to win the polls. Now in the case of Kibra, we are told Raila had his spies everywhere, deep inside the Team Tanga. So the result was that the ODM campaign team had a lot of information. They knew exactly what the strategy of the DP Ruto camp was for McDonald Mariga. In fact, we're even told for every delegation that visited DP Ruto in his current home, Raila had at least 50 spies who would of course receive the goodies that were being distributed. But more importantly, they would report back to Orange House, giving very intimate details of exactly what went down. Bottom line, the Kibra constituency seat was going. ODM were going to lose it. Unfairly, of course. But then maybe that's not the right word to use in politics. Because in politics, there's nothing fair or unfair. The only rule is thou shalt not get caught. Disgusting, yes. Horrifying, yes, in fact very horrifying. But that is the nature of politics, especially in Kenya. Now, before the Kibra by-election, some analysts had predicted that Raila would be forced to rig the election in favor of Imran, using his deep state contacts. Because Raila is more or less in government, although he has no official position. As one of the two principles of the handshake, this man is very powerful in Kenya today. That one you cannot deny. But instead, Raila chose to counter the tactics of the deputy president on the ground, and using tactics which many would not approve of, in protecting his bedroom, if we can put it like that. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.